Good evening and welcome out, everyone, to tonight's Tackle Trading Onboarding webinar. This is Coach Frank. I'll be taking you to the Tackle Trading website this evening, showing you around a little bit, letting you know where things are, when they are, kind of what we're doing here each day and each week at Tackle Trading. So I hope everybody had a great Monday as we get ready for another exciting week here in the market. We'll jump right into it here tonight. I guess very quickly before we start going through Tackle Trading, I would highlight the Huddle Podcast. You can get that at thehuddle.com, but there is a link right here on Tackle Trading that will take you to the Huddle. That is a daily podcast each Monday through Friday, each market morning, a quick 10-minute podcast to take you through the top 5 stories of the day. You can catch it on all of your major podcast providers. You can listen to it directly here on the Huddle podcast.com, which is where I do it, but it's definitely worth incorporating into your routine, get kind of up to date with the big stories that are moving the market in a quick and unbiased manner. Definitely been a nice addition to my morning routine, at least. So again, you can find that right here on Tackle Trading. When we talk about tackle trading, at least when I talk about it, I break it down into 3 different areas. The things that you can do on your own, that's going to be courses, that's going to be blog, that's going to be some of our different traders tools. Things that you can do with others, that's going to be our live content that we're doing each market day and a lot during the evenings as well. And lastly, our weekend report, where we issue our newsletter, stock, options, commodity, and Forex report. So that'll be the way we come at it here tonight as well. So we'll kind of start with the first things that you can do on your own. But before we dive right into that, I would just say, really all in my mind, all Tackle Trading it's a group of traders that have come together that can just help each other out, help each other learn, share trade setups, share ideas, share struggles, whatever it might be. It's really nice, I think, at least, to be part of a community of traders, right? Trading is one of those things that either people do it or don't. There's not a whole lot of middle ground, at least in my experience. So it's fun to know that I always have traders to talk to here at Tackle Trading. So I don't have to, drive the, my family and some of the folks in my, normal day-to-day life crazy with talking about charts, which I've been known to do. So let's dive right in. So first off, let's talk about our courses. We have our 7-step guide to trading. This is kind of I guess maybe in some ways, an introduction to tackle trading, at least kind of the overarching way that we tend to approach the markets as a community. Obviously, no 2 traders are going to do anything exactly the same, probably, but I do think we share kind of a fundamental belief system here at Tackle Trading, from taking that top-down approach, starting at the top of the markets. Where's the strength? Where's the weakness? Matching strategies to our read of the situation, finding our trades, prepping them, obviously placing, managing them, journaling those trades. This is just kind of, I guess, in a lot of ways, the Tackle Trading way. If you're a newer trader, it can be really helpful to get a little bit of a rhythm and a routine down. If you're a veteran trader, you probably already have your own, daily routine. And I don't ever want anybody to mess around with their routine if it's working for them, but maybe you can get a couple of ideas out of here as well. So that is the 7-step guide to trading. We have an introduction into technical analysis. As traders, we do a lot of charting, right? And that's true whether you're, trading intraday, currencies, swing trading, cash flowing, whatever it might be. The chart is a big part of, when we're doing things, where we're getting in, where we're getting out, where we're setting targets, things like that. So the more comfortable and the better we are at reading charts, I think the better everything else is going to be for us. I don't think I've ever met a trader who felt otherwise in that regard. Our Options 101 course is really going to focus on the option contract and the factors that influence the price of that contract. Right. So we're going to talk a lot about the Greeks, delta, vega, theta, because unlike stock, that's very straightforward. 22 is 22. Today, tomorrow, next week, tomorrow afternoon, whatever it is, right? There's a lot of other factors that are moving the price of those option contracts. And we do need to understand those as we journey into trading options. So we're not going to talk a lot about strategies. I'll show you where you can find that here in a few minutes, but really going to focus on the contract. What happens when you buy or sell that call or that put contract? If you've ever been interested in learning more about the futures market or the currency market, we do have introductions into those markets as well to get you going. Those are leveraged markets. They are, some people love them, some people hate them, some people are very intimidated and then never really taken a look at them. I don't want you to feel like you should be in that last camp. If you liked Forex, great. If you don't like Forex, wonderful. I don't care. We don't have to trade everything, but I always want, everybody to feel like, what, it's not my thing. I'm not a Forex guy, not personally. But that's, I wanted that to come from a place of strength. So if you've ever been interested in learning a little bit more about either of those markets, the way they work, how that leverage works, all of that fun stuff, we do have introductions into both the futures and the Forex markets as well. Our system development course, no matter what you're trading, whether it's day trading, currencies, swing trading, whatever it is, we do need clear rules. We do need clearly defined systems. I think everyone would agree with that. It's one thing to say it. It can be difficult to do it. Our system development course really is designed to help you train yourself to think about your trading from a systems development perspective. In my opinion, for most of us, it's just a little light switch that needs to be flipped on. And I honestly believe that once it's on, you can't help but think about your trading that way. And I really do think that makes trading a lot easier, a lot more fun, and a lot more stress-free. When you have clearly designed systems that you believe in and that you trust and that you execute over and over and over again, it seems to me at least that's a much better way to trade than just saying, what, why not? Why not today, right? Why isn't today the day I do whatever it might be? So those are our different courses. Everything here at Tackle Trading will be available to our pro members with the sole exception of our 4 premium systems that you see here. What these are, we're not going to go into big detail with them, but they're one-time purchases. The system is yours for life. Once a month, we get together with members of that team in a mastermind group. The Tackle 25 is a covered call-based system. We have a select group of stocks that we put together each year with the mindset of selling covered calls against these companies for cash flow. Our STEP system is our swing trading system, just standing for stop loss, target, entry, and position size. Our cash flow condors is another cash flow system, this time on the Russell 2000. And the bear market survival guide is protecting our portfolio for an eventual bull bear market, as well as profiting in those bearish market conditions. All of these courses these systems are a one-time purchase. You can get more information about them over in the store, or you can send Mark an email to team@tackletrading.com. He'd be happy to help you get a little more info as well. If any of those are interesting, you can hop over to the clubhouse and ask some of our team members who are using those systems what their thoughts are. But again, that will be the only thing that won't be available to each and every one of our pro members are these 4 systems. Beyond the courses, you're going to have our blogs. We do blog content every week, whether it's more charting in a Tales of Technician, more options over an option theory, taking concepts kind of from the ground up and building with Coach Greg over in the Rookie Corner, hearing from Coach M and the other awesome female traders here at Tackle Trading in the Women in Trading blog. So these are going to be relatively short reads, but can be a great way to answer our team's questions, share ideas, things like that. Not everything has to be a webinar or a course or anything like that. So certainly worth incorporating those short reads into your week as well. Over in the Trade Center, you will find a few things. You'll find a link to our glossary, a link to our trade journals, a link to our events calendar, which we'll circle back to before we're done here today. You will also find the playbook. The Tackle Trading playbook is here in the Trade Center. And this is where we have all of our strategies and the rules for those strategies. We break everything down into one of 3 camps: Delta, Theta, Vega, based off of the Greeks, the option Greek. So Delta is directional movement. I expect the stock to go from 50 to 55 or from 47 to 42, whatever the case might be. So that's going to be, buying or selling stock, right? That's going to be buying call options, buying put options, doing debit spreads, things of that nature. So that's going to be the Delta side, D for direction, if you will. The Theta is the cash flow side. The great thing about options is we can sell them and bring in that premium and take advantage of the one guarantee, which is time decay, right? Every day that passes, every option is one day closer to no longer existing. So every option contract loses value to Theta each and every day. That's going to be these type of strategies. That's going to be, selling covered calls against shares that we own. That's going to be doing credit spreads. That's going to be selling naked puts to get into positions, things of those nature of that nature. And then lastly, the Vega or the volatility side. These are going to be the bi-directional trades. I always think earnings when I think about Vega strategies. I don't know if the stock's going to have a, good earnings report or a bad earnings report, but based off of its history, it usually moves a lot. I'd like to build a trade that profits as long as it moves a lot, whether that's up a lot or down a lot. Or maybe the market thinks that it's going to move a lot, but when I evaluate it, I think, what, these guys usually just don't move that much. I'm going to bet against them, so to speak. So that's going to be the Vega or the volatility side of things. In each of these, we will have a video going thoroughly over, what the strategy is, why we would choose the strategy, what our rules for the strategies are. There is an example using the Thinkorswim platform if you're using TOS and need a little bit of help on that side of it as well. There's also a little cheat sheet PDF, so you have easy access to our rules for that strategy. You'll also notice everything has somewhere between a 0 and a plus or a -3. And we always want to match the strategy to our read of the situation, right? And so very easy way to kind of think about it is 0 is flat neutral. 1 or -1 would be slightly bullish, slightly bearish. 2 or -2 would be normally bullish or bearish, and then 3 or -3 would be very bullish or bearish. So if I really expect, company ABC to run on this next breakout, I probably want to do a strategy that's a 2 or a 3, right? Because that's an aggressive type of read of the situation. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but if that's my read, I do want to match that. Maybe you look at the same thing and say, hey, look, Frank, I see what you're seeing on the breakout, but these guys don't move that quick. Maybe I'll do something that's a little closer to the one or two side of things. So that's all that is when you're seeing this here as well. So that's going to be the playbook. It'll keep you plenty busy. That is for sure. As I mentioned the Clubhouse earlier, but that's kind of our own personal social media, for lack of a better way to put it. Our team members can get in there. They can ask for questions. They can ask for help. They can share ideas. They can get to know other traders. Just an easy place. It's not like we can't do that on more traditional social media platforms, of course, and we're active on those platforms too. But the Clubhouse is kind of nice because it's just us. It's just trading. It's really nice to have that place. So you're always, of course, welcome to join us over there in the Clubhouse. For sure. So that's going to kind of be most of what I want to talk about for that first phase. But before we move on to the things that you can do with others and what the schedule looks like, I do want to come directly into the Trade Center here. And in here, this is going to bring you to a page. It's kind of a what's up at Tackle Trading page. What's our next show? What are our recent posts? Our latest report, our latest tweet, a little upcoming schedule for the next few days. Either a live showing, there we are right now, or more usually a replay of one of our YouTube webinars. Typically the halftime report will be in here. There is a little watch list that you can keep for yourself in here if you would like to do so. All you'll need to do is just add your symbol. So I'll throw Microsoft in there. Whoops, I need to do that. I'll just left click it here and I'll hit this plus button, and that's going to add Microsoft to my watch list. It'll be here when I come back. If I say, you know what, I'm done with you, Newmont, we've had a heck of a run together, but I'm going to take you out of my watch list, I'll just select them here and hit that minus button, and that'll get rid of them. So obviously, I would imagine you're doing most of your charting on your own, trading platform, but it can be handy to have easy access just on a web page to your watch list. A lot of people like this. It's okay if you do. It's okay if you don't. There is a link to tradingjustice.com right here. Of course, every week, Matt, Tim, and Mark do the Trading Justice podcast. Always a really good listen, very informative, a lot of fun. You can catch it on all of the major podcast providers. You can also, much like the Huddle on the Huddle podcast, you can listen to the Trading Justice podcast just directly over at tradingjustice.com. There's also a very nice monthly newsletter over at Trading Justice that's very much worth keeping an eye out for. Very informative stuff over there as well. So that's just tradingjustice.com. This will take you there, but it is just tradingjustice.com. There is a link to a market skyline that's going to have some of the charts for the different indexes and things like that, the major commodities, the sector ETFs, all of these, that make up the market, right? So the market, the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, the commodities market, gold, silver, copper, crude, nat gas, the different sector ETFs. Today was, just a continuation of another, just a crazy great run on real estate, right? That was the big winner here today for sure. So just kind of a one-stop shop, to kind of take a quick look at, hey, what really stood out here in the market today. There's also a heat map here that will take you to a FinViz heat map. You will have to deal with some ads unless you are a subscriber of FinViz. I am not, but just can take a quick visual. Hey, what did today look like? What areas stood out, just to get some ideas? See, there's that aforementioned ad. I'm used to clicking them off. I really like FinViz, but I just use their free platform myself. There's a link to a news aggregator that's going to go through some of these major financial sites such as CNBC, Wall Street Journal. The Times will be in here. MarketWatch will probably be in here a little further down the road. Just quick browse at the headline, see if there's anything that kind of jumps out and I actually want to click on. Right? Oh, SFIX had their earnings today. Looks like a big pop. Maybe I'll go read that and get a little more information about what that report looked like. So just can save you some clicks, some bouncing around, things like that. A link to the economic calendar, so you can go to know what the economic calendar for the day or for the week looks like. Another link to our reports, which of course are up here as well. You're going to find a link to a chart if you ever need one. Again, our glossary, compounding gains calculator. If you come into the trade journals this way, you'll probably remember when we had a little drop down, there was a link to the trade journals. But if you're in the actual trade center and come into them this way, this is the way I always do it. They both work, but this is the way I always do it. This will bring you to a video kind of walking you through the process. If you need a little bit of help on that journal, I know I did when I transitioned from, my own personal weird Frank journal to a more streamlined tackle trading journal. I'm not a spreadsheet guy, and so it was a little bit of a struggle for me. It was helpful to have a little tutorial. That just says a lot about me and how bad I am at spreadsheets. So if you come into it this way, there will be the video tutorial. If you scroll down just a little bit, it'll be set up on the trade journal, and my download will be right here. We also have beyond the trade journal, which is where, we can, what did I do? When did I do it? It's going to track the rest, right? Today I bought 100 shares at such and such price. Today I got out of this. It'll track our profit loss. It'll track how long we've been in the trade. It'll track what our average winning trade makes us, what our average losing trade costs us, what our winning percentage is. Of course, the big one, what's the bottom line, right? What's our gross profits bigger than our gross losses? Every trade we make is data if we allow it to be so. So if you're not journaling your trades already, I would certainly encourage you to do so. So that's the traditional trade journal. You'll find the data research journal, and my computer does this sometimes. Yours probably won't. But that is for our cash flow trades. That's where we can, build and compare those different cash flow, covered calls, credit spreads, naked puts, and what have you. Our portfolio journal to kind of keep organized on top of everything. Just select whichever tab you want, and the download will be there for you as well. But again, you can catch that up here in the drop down side of the Trade Center as well. So that is the Trade Center, just some different traders tools to hopefully make your trading life just a little bit easier. Now let's kind of shift gears into the schedule, or the things that you can do with others. And first off, let's kind of talk about the daily schedule here, or at least I should say the market daily schedule. Pretty much Monday through Friday, minus a handful of holidays, right? We'll start off with our Traders Lounge. Every market morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, we get together for an hour here at Tackle Trading in our Traders Lounge. Our lounge is designed where our team members can bring in any questions, anything that they're struggling with, anything they need a helping hand with, and we can go through that with them live. So it might be just struggling with a concept. It might be struggling with a strategy. It might be management. It might be a trade setup that you want to get some other eyeballs on. Who knows what your questions will be? Just know that they're always welcome over there in the Traders Lounge at 11 a.m. Eastern each market morning. That'll go for an hour. We don't record every Traders Lounge. We do because, quite frankly, no one's going to go back and listen to one from 11 months ago, right? But We will record snippets of our Traders Lounge and get them, if they're, and post them in here for our team as well. If your schedule is such that you can never join live, because maybe you're at work, Monday through Friday at 11 Eastern, but you're really struggling with something or you need some help on something, don't hesitate to shoot us an email to team@tackletrading.com. Let us know the situation. It's not a big deal. We're always happy to try our best to accommodate our team members. So, if that's, with the situation that you find yourself in, don't be afraid to reach out. It's not a huge deal for us to go over that subject for you, record it, and post it in here so you can catch it at a little bit more of a convenient time. So that's the Traders Lounge. Each market morning, 11 a.m. Eastern. That'll go for an hour. Shortly after that, we head over to YouTube at 12:30 Eastern for our halftime report, which is, of course, a live look in at the market as we go through that daily routine, taking that top-down approach, working through the markets one step at a time, going through the indexes, talking sectors, talking commodities, stocks in the news, what's on the market's mind, interesting trade setups, things of that nature to really kind of go through that daily market routine. That's live on YouTube at 12:30 Eastern. Of course, being on YouTube, once the stream is over, it does automatically post to our channel. But you all know that already. So that's every market day. So if the market is open, you can expect that we'll be doing the lounge here at Tackle Trading at 11 Eastern, and then heading over to our YouTube channel at 12:30 to go through the halftime report with the team. So we'll be with you each and every market day. That is for sure. Then we have our evening schedule, which is going to work a little bit differently. On Monday nights, we do this onboarding webinar, just walking people, through the site. If you're new to tackle trading, if you're just ran into us and want to learn a little bit more what we're about, kind of what we're doing over here, we're doing that on Monday nights at 7 Eastern. We typically also meet up with one of the members of our premium systems in a mastermind group on Monday nights as well over here at Tackle Trading. On Tuesdays, we do what I would probably personally at least consider our flagship show, and that is the Coaches Show, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. This will be recorded and archived, so if you can't make it live or if you need to rewatch it or want to watch some old episodes, you can always do so. We're a couple days into the market. It's Tuesday now. The market's closed. What's standing out? We can do a quick overview of the market skyline, what areas are standing out in the market. But what I really like about the Coaches Show is it allows us to take one of the many concepts in trading, which there's a ton, right? I mean, it can be setup based, trading flags, trading breakouts, cup and handles. It can be strategy based, long calls versus bull calls versus bull puts. It can be routine based. It can be portfolio design. It can be indicator based, moving averages, stochastic, RSI. I mean, there's so many things that there are available to us traders, right? But sometimes it's nice to be able to take a really in-depth conversation on just one of them. Let's just talk about this one thing. I really like the Coaches Show for that. It's a great way to be able to share ideas and teach. There's so many concepts. So that is definitely one I would incorporate into your routine, whether it's live or a little later in the week when it's more convenient. Again, that's Tuesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern for the Coaches Show. On Thursdays, also at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we do our Cash Flow Club. That is going to be a little more narrowly focused, as you can imagine, cash flow strategies, right? So we're really going to be focused on building and managing those theta-based cash flow strategies, covered calls, naked puts, credit spreads, condors, etc. Both building and managing those types of trades. That's always a lot of fun, especially if you're a cash flow trader. And I would definitely say most folks at Tackle Trading at least incorporate some cash flow trading into their personal systems. But it will be a little more narrowly focused than the Coaches Show for sure. But like the Coaches Show, it is recorded and archived. So if you need to revisit, rewatch, catch it at a more convenient time, always going to be available to you. On Wednesday nights, we do we do two things on Wednesday nights. At 7 Eastern, here on our YouTube channel, we do our Trade Masters webinar. A couple of the coaches will come together and bounce trade ideas off of one another. Coach Mark, who hosts it for us, and members of our team, and just share trade setups, talk them through, what they're seeing, why they like it, how they get in, what type of strategy they'd use, all of that fun stuff. And at the end of it, Coach Mark declares a winner and a champion for the week. But it really is just a fun place to be able to share trade ideas with one another and with members of the team. So that's 7 Eastern right here on our YouTube channel for the Trade Masters webinar. Now I'm going to hop over in this Trade Center in the events calendar because this is a good, this is where comes in really handy. Shortly after our Trade Masters webinar here on YouTube at 8:30, we head back over to Tackle Trading into our lounge, Labs edition, and that's where we take any questions on any of the things that we talked about in our Trade Masters webinar. Because we're bringing 5 setups each, and there's trying to get that thing done in an hour. So sometimes there's a little more talking to be had for sure. Our lounge allows our members of the team to just ask any questions they have about any of those setups or any of our ideas behind them, any ideas on the strategy side of things. And so it's a lot of fun. It's kind of a continuation of our Trade Masters webinar with members of our pro community here at Tackle Trading. That's at 8:30 Eastern on Wednesday nights. Side note, this event calendar is really handy because, when you're getting to know us, sure, the schedule, it can be a little, just getting used to, right? But it's really nice. Oh, I'm ready to go join this. It's about to start. I can just click on it and get me the information, and I can hop right into that show or that event. So it is very, very handy. It's also very handy because you'll also see a Mind of a Trader, and we actually have 2 of those that Coach Mark does for us. He does his Mind of a Trader at the closing bell on Friday at 3 Eastern, hour before the market closes. He does his commodity report live, and he just bounces ideas off of the team. Any idea, any trade setups they're looking at going into the week, any last minute decisions, things like that. Just another great place to get questions answered and to hang out with members of the team, share ideas with one another. So that's Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, an hour before the market closes. And then Coach Mark also does a weekend prep class on typically Sunday nights, right? Unless like last week with Memorial Day, it was Monday at 8:30 Eastern time. The futures market have been open for a little while. So just based off of that, any new information come in that's going to maybe change the way we approach the early part of the trading week. Again, bounce ideas around with members of the team, answer any questions that they have. So since there are 2 Mind of the Traders, this is definitely the easiest way to get into them, so you aren't accidentally going into the wrong one. So that's, again, Fridays at the closing bell at 3 Eastern, Sundays at 8:30 Eastern for the weekend prep class. We also have a very strong team of female traders with us here at Tackle Trading. They get together about once a month in their Women in Trading Mastermind group. I do not get to go, but it tends to be towards the end of the month, and it tends to be on Fridays, although that's not necessarily always going to be the case. We will make sure that we promote it ahead of time, though. If you are a woman in trading, or if you know a woman in trading, or a woman who's interested in getting into trading, I would definitely tell her to connect with the awesome gals of Tackle Trading. I don't know exactly what happens in that mastermind group because I do not get to go, but I do know the team. I do know them, and I know how great of people they are. Awesome traders, fun to be around. So I'm pretty sure they're getting some good work done and having some fun doing that. So keep an eye out for that, but we will promote that one to make sure everybody knows when that one is. Kind of an easy way to think about it, I guess, for me at least, and maybe it's oversimplifying it a little bit, but the lounge is where we can answer specific questions from our team. That's where we can, hey, I've got, a bull call spread on such and such, blah, blah, blah. What would I like to do? Right. So what are some management ideas? What are you guys seeing on the chart? That type of stuff where it can answer your questions that are very personal or specific to you. Our halftime report is really where we can go through that daily routine, right? Staying on top of the market and the story that is the market. And our evening shows are where we can do some teaching. And that probably is oversimplifying it a little bit, but maybe in a, maybe oversimplified way that can kind of help as you get to know us. So that's what the schedule is going to look like here at Tackle Trading. We'll be here with you a lot throughout the week. You'll probably get tired of us, but hope not. So maybe it's just me you'll get tired of. Lastly, we have our weekend reports. On Fridays, as the market's winding down and closing, we all get together as coaches here at Tackle Trading in our scouting report meeting, is what we call it. And we talk markets, we talk sectors, we talk commodities, we talk currencies, we talk trade setups that we're individually following going into the upcoming week. And out of that scouting report meeting comes our weekend reports. We get all of these delivered to our team by Saturday afternoon, so they have plenty of time before the market opens back up to go through them. Our Tackle newsletter is looking ahead to the next week in the market. So again, that top down approach, right? What are the storylines that are moving the market right now? So wrap up of the week that was. What is the week ahead of us looking like? What are the economic what's on the economic calendar that we want to go that just maybe pay a little bit of attention to? We'll have a video talking you through all this stuff. Where's the market? Kind of what are we seeing from a technical perspective? There are the index ETFs if you need them, DIA for the Dow, the Qs for NASDAQ, IWM for the RUT, and of course, SPY for the S&P 500. There's Coach Gino's Arkham High-Low indicator that, in a nutshell, looks at over 8,000 stocks. So it looks at the internals of the market to see, how many of these stocks are actually putting in new highs versus how many are actually putting in new lows, to get a better understanding of kind of the overall strength or weakness of the market. The seasonality chart will be in here, so you can kind of see from a historical perspective, how does the market tend to respond this time of year. Historically, we're in the summer chop now, right? We'll go back and forth, and won't really go anywhere until the fourth quarter, where we kind of have a good run, and then kind of sell a little bit in the early part of the year, bounce in the spring, March and April, or will that happen again? No, I don't know that, right? I mean, it will, but not necessarily next year or this year. But from a historical perspective, it can be helpful to know this is pretty much exactly what April looked like. This is pretty darn close what to May looked like. This is pretty darn close what to the fourth quarter of last year looked like. Obviously, it's not going to be 100%. I don't think any of us will look at it from that point of view, but it can be helpful to take that historical context of how the market tends to perform at any given time of the year into account. There's very similar with the ETFs. What areas of the market tend to perform the strongest, relatively speaking, each month. We are ranking the sectors each week in our meeting, and that's what you're seeing here on the scoreboard. And we'll talk you through kind of what the thought process and everything in the video. But when you're looking at it visually, think about it like a football field, right? That's exactly what we have here, where, if it's on the bearish or the bullish side, are we liking it a little bit more or a little bit less last week, right? So you can kind of see where our head is in regard to the different sectors within the market. We'll kind of talk you through that, kind of why things are where they are in the video, but just so you can kind of see where our head's at each week going into the different sectors. Speaking of sectors, the sector spider ETFs are in here. If you're not familiar with them, what they do is we go to the S&P 500, we talk real estate because they were the big winner here today. We go into the S&P 500, we pull out just the real estate, and we put that into a portfolio. We go into the S&P 500, we pull out just the energy stocks and put that into a portfolio. And that's what we're looking at here. These are ETFs. The ETF provider's website is just www.sectorspdr.com. If you want to take a closer look at those ETFs, but it can be a great way to track the different sectors in the market. And being ETFs, you can trade them. These particular ETFs are optionable, so you can do lots of different things with them if that's the route that you want to go to trade a particular sector. There's going to be a little note on how these are put together in here, but you can take a much closer look over at the, of course, ETF provider's actual website. There's also a pre-built scanner in here. If any particular area has caught your attention and say, what, I'm kind of interested in the energy sector, don't know a lot of energy stocks off the top of my head. This is just a pre-built FinViz scan. These are what I call trader-friendly stocks. And what I mean when I say that is they've got good liquidity. So it's very easy to trade shares of these companies. It's very easy to get in and out of shares. They are all optionable. Just because a stock's optionable doesn't mean its options are particularly liquid. I would say as a whole, these group of stocks are pretty easy to trade with options, but you will, of course, just like anything else, always want to double check. You never want to get stuck in an illiquid option. But whether it's through stock or options, if something in here stands out to me, shouldn't be a big deal finding a way to put together a little trade on it. Just now I can just kind of do a quick scroll, a little bird's eye view. Obviously, I couldn't build an actual trade off of any of these little tiny charts. I couldn't, at least, but I can. I know me. I know what kind of patterns I like and things like that. And I can kind of see if anything stands out to me. I look at VLO that recently broke out, is kind of doing a little bit of a flag, it looks like. If I click on this guy here, it'll bring me a little bigger chart. Again, I wouldn't try to prep a trade off of this, but I look at that and say, you know what? Yeah, I might actually look at that in my own software here a little bit later here tonight. If you don't like it, that's fine too, right? Make sure you hit back to screener. That'll make sure it doesn't take you back to build your own scan, I guess, if you will. So it can just be an easy way to find some candidates in an area that has caught your attention as you're going through your daily routine or what have you. So, and there, of course, will be that for each of the different sectors. The newsletter is, again, we believe in taking that top-down approach. And so this is kind of where I always would suggest starting personally, but that is just me. Then we have our stock, options, Forex, and commodity report. As I mentioned earlier, Coach Mark does his commodity report live in his Mind of a Trader on Fridays. We'll get that posted to the team here because not everybody can or wants to join him on Friday afternoon, where he can talk about the fundamentals, the technicals, and the storylines going on in the commodities market. Coach Cody does our Forex report, highlighting where the major pairs are, what's standing out technically, news events. He also does a heck of a lot of teaching in there. He's taught a lot of members of our team who weren't trading Forex to trade Forex. He does a great job, taking people who've never done it before and helping them learn how to get into that market. So if you've ever been interested, and even if it's something that's maybe more of a passing interest, I honestly believe if you just watch the 20-minute Forex report each week for the next 3 or 4 months, you're going to learn a lot about Forex. He does a really good job in there. Then we have our stock and option report. They're going to be built pretty similar to one another. Of course, they're going to focus on what their name would suggest. Over in the stock report, we're going to be looking at these things from both stock and option from a swing trading perspective. In the stock report, as a general rule, these are going to be stocks that would just, for one reason or another, it might just be the price of the stock. It might be the liquidity of the options. It might be, just the ease and convenience of the trade setup. We would just prefer trading with stock trades. Whereas in the options report, we prefer them for a variety of reasons to, maybe look to sell some credit spreads or to leg into a bull call spread or whatever the case might be. There's a little gray area, I would say. I mean, if you find something in the stock report that you want to trade with options, you can always go check the option liquidity, see if it's something you're comfortable with. If it is, great. If it's not, okay, you can always trade shares. We live in a great time. For most of us here in the States, no commissions on our stock trades, right? So not a huge deal. And trading stocks certainly a viable way to go for sure. But if you do want to trade options on something you find in the stock report, you can always check and see if you'd feel comfortable. And, conversely, if you want to trade something with stock in the option report, that's never going to be an issue, of course. It's going to allow us to share our watch list coming into the upcoming week. In the video, particularly in the stock report, we can really focus on the technicals. In the option report, the technicals are equally as important, but we're going to spend more time talking about strategy selection, right? With stock, I mean, it's buy or not buy, sell or not sell, right? With options, there's several different strategies. So we'll spend a lot of time in the video and the option report talking about the strategy selection, whereas the stock report, we're going to spend most of the time talking about the technical side of things. In either case, so of course, the technicals are equally important, and the trade setups will be the same type of trade setups. We'll have our bullish list, our bearish list going into the week. So you can, maybe you've got a watch list of your own. Maybe you like some of these trade ideas though, right? We're scanning the markets each week to find good quality trade setups for our team. And that's exactly what we're doing here in the report. Because we build in these trading view charts, there's a couple of things that you can do in here. For example, say you like KMI, Kinder Morgan here. A little breakout candidate, right? Up to resistance, pulled back to resistance, back to support, knocking on the door. We're in the energy sector, of course, here in Kinder Morgan. If I want to do a little more work on this, I can hide the watch list by hitting this widget button. get me a little more chart to work with, smack it again, it'll bring it back for me. If you want to add any indicators, that's just going to be right here. Just a quick note, it's not going to save them. So I'm going to add the ATR here. Usually that's the only one that I add personally. But if I leave this and come back later, that's going to be gone. Just a note. So if you put 7 different indicators on, that's fine. But do note that when you come back, they'll be gone. So if you want to make that a little bigger or smaller, you can just kind of, highlight the little wall between the volume and the indicator and hold down the left mouse click, and you can scrunch it or drag it however you need to do so. Same with the chart. You can, mouse wheel up, we'll zoom in, mouse wheel down, we'll zoom out. You can hold the left click over in the little dollars and zoom like that. Same with the chart. Just hold your left mouse click down, and you can, maneuver the chart just so you can get it where you like it to be. Your time frames are going to be up here. We're going to have it default at the daily time frame. But if you wanted to take a closer look at the longer term, we can say, well, where's some old resistance here on KMI? It looks like, to me, they don't really have it until we get into that $21.50 to $22 range. Maybe you see it a little bit differently. Maybe you want to take a closer look at the intraday, so you can, see if there's something you want to prep from a stop loss or an entry perspective. So you can't change your time frame in there. Your trend line tool is going to be this guy right here. That's where you can, draw, in this case, horizontal, this little breakout candidate here, right? If applicable, and sometimes it will be, you can draw your trend line. It's okay, well, there's my trend line going on. If you don't need them, you can just left click them and then just put them in the trash there. This guy right here is really handy. This is where we can build our long or short position. So since this is a bullish trade and a little breakout candidate, I'm not going to get too specific here, just to kind of show you how to use it. Let's say I want to get in at $19.03. Want to get through that resistance, and that's where I'm going to get in. We talked when we looked at that weekly chart, we saw some resistance, somewhere in that ballpark of 2160 to 22. So maybe I've got a target in mind of a first target of 2150 and a second target of 22. Maybe I want to get my stop loss below, this pivot here. That's going to let me know that my risk to reward for every dollar I'm risking, I'm getting $2.61 in potential profit. If you say, well, Frank, I don't want to put my stop loss there, I put my stop loss, below, such and such price. Same thing, right? So it's going to do the math for you. It's really handy. It saves me a heck of a lot of time. Works. There's both the long and the short variety for it. I love this tool. It's very, very helpful. For me, at least, not to have to do that math to let me know what my risk to reward actually looks like in the trade. So just a couple of things. Again, you'll probably be doing most of your charting in your own charting platform, but I would imagine at least the first time you go through the stock or the options or commodity or Forex report, you'll be doing it here, with the video at Tackle Trading. So you might be in here a few times, and it's kind of handy to know some of the things that are available, I think, in these built-in charts. So that's going to be the stock and option report. In addition to our watch list, which is kind of primarily what we're doing in these reports, we'll also, of course, take an opportunity to do a little bit of teaching in each report, whether it's stop loss placement, entry techniques, management, or on the options side of things, strategy selection, one versus another, that type of stuff. We'll always take an opportunity to do a little bit of teaching in those reports as well. And of course, just like the newsletter and everything else, we'll have a video kind of detailing all of this stuff for you. Again, you can expect these to be delivered to you by Saturday afternoon, so you have time to get through any or all of them before the market opens back up. Don't be afraid to prioritize, right? If the number one thing you're trading is Forex, that's probably, I would always say start with the newsletter, because I think, I believe in the concept of starting at the top of the market and working down. But if I were primarily a Forex trader, Forex would be my next stop, right? I am more of an equity trader, so I'm usually gravitating more towards the stock and the options report as kind of first, if you will. Doesn't mean I don't go through all of them. I think there's value in all of them. But don't be afraid to prioritize. I'll always, say it's better to do a great job with one than a bad job with four. And that's always true, whether we're talking about the reports here or anything else in life, right? That's at least my personal philosophy. So that's going to be our reports. Again, find them right up here. as we get wrapping up here this evening. Our tackle today is our daily email. If you would like to get it, you can just go into tackle today and sign up for the daily email. We also post it each day. It will get to your inbox faster than it will be posted, but if for whatever reason you just prefer to read it here, you can, of course, do that as well. That is just the tackle today email. As I mentioned earlier, we are all active on the more traditional social media platform, Instagram presence, LinkedIn presence. Of course, a lot of stuff going on over here at YouTube. Beyond our live streams, we're doing our halftime report, our Trade Masters webinar, this webinar. We've got a lot of other videos, a lot of how-tos, a lot of walkthroughs. We have an entire playlist on Thinkorswim tutorials, all sorts of fun stuff over on our YouTube channel. We're always looking to add more. So I certainly invite you to subscribe and hit the bell so you kind of know what we're doing over here on YouTube each week. Got a Facebook presence. We have a Facebook group where, I'm not a Facebook user, but we do have a Facebook group. A lot of tackle traders do like Facebook, and that's okay with me, where they could just get together, bounce some ideas around with one another. I am more of a Twitter guy myself. I do some things for the tackle trading Twitter. I'll share any trade setups, kind of let you know what's going on at tackle trading, upcoming big name earnings, stuff like that. I invite you to join us in any of these platforms that you're using. If you're not using, Twitter, that's cool. I'm never going to use Facebook. Believe me, everybody has tried to make me do it. It just isn't going to happen. But if you are using the platforms, it can be a great way to connect with other traders. That is for sure. So I invite you to join us on any of those platforms if you would like to do so. At the end of the day, hopefully this helped you have a better understanding of what we're doing at Tackle Trading, how to find it, all of that fun things. If you're ever looking for something, or if you can't find anything, the search function here is very, very smart. So it can be a great place to start. Hey, I'm looking for more information on IRAs, right? Let's see if they're see what's going on over here on IRAs here. Just pick that one. Hey, there was one right there. That's probably why, because Ty did one last week on it. Videos, blogs, all of that fun stuff. But if you can't find something, don't hesitate to reach out. Send us an email to team@tackletrading.com. If you're ever stuck, if you're hung up, if you're looking for something and can't find it, we're here to help. Don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're more than happy to take care of it for you on the back end. There should be a link to a 15-day free trial at the bottom of this video or any of our videos here at Tackle Trading. That is our standard offer. If you're thinking about taking a closer look at tackle trading, we do have a free 15-day trial where you can come see what we're doing on the back end and then decide if that is something for you or not. I certainly invite you to join us over there as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I certainly appreciate everyone's time, whether you caught this live or if you caught it a little later in the week. I do hope it helped you have a better idea of what we're doing here at Tackle Trading. I'm sure I'll see you all again in one way, shape, or form, whether it's in another YouTube webinar or one of our shows on Twitter in the clubhouse, who knows. But I'm around. You're always welcome to reach out to me. Of course, I'm always happy to help our team members. So don't be a stranger. With that, I'll let you get out of here this evening. But thank you so much for your time. It has been my pleasure. Welcome to Tackle Trading. If you're just checking us out for the first time, appreciate it. And I hope you decide to stick around. Great to have you with us. Get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. You have a fantastic rest of your Monday. Have a great week, both in and out of the market. Trade smart. And I don't know where I'll see you, but hope to be seeing each and every one of you very, very soon.